Good morning. Today's video is going to be a Weight Watchers what I eat in a day on the Purple plan. I guess it's actually WW now, it's not Weight Watchers anymore. I am going to be starting out by making my coffee. I'm just going to put a splash of oat milk into some plain black coffee. This is the coffee that we like to get. I order it off of Amazon. And then I am putting in 2 different kinds of the sweet leaf drops. These also come off of Amazon, and I will link these in the description box down below. But I add a couple drops of hazelnut and a couple drops of chocolate. They do have a pumpkin spice, so I do think that for fall, I'm going to order that to have a little homage to the pumpkin spice latte. So I'm going to get ready to take the kids to school and sip my coffee on the way. I did already work out this morning. I did yoga this morning instead of a Peloton ride. I've talked about it in other videos. Normally I do Peloton rides Monday through Friday, and then I do yoga on the weekends. But I was really sore this morning and just decided that give myself a break, listen to my body, and do yoga instead of getting on the Peloton. I will check in at breakfast and let you know what I am eating. Oh, and before I forget, I get 16 points in a day on the Weight Watchers Purple plan, but I do also utilize Fit Points and weekly points. Normally I use weekly points for date night and when we do Pizza Fridays as a family, and then I use my Fit Points daily. Now, I'll have to look it up because I did yoga. It's probably only 2, maybe 3 Fit Points that I earned for yoga today, so I'll probably be sticking pretty close to my 16 points that I just get ordinarily. Also, I'm going to, when I get home from dropping off the kids, focus on cleaning up this lovely disaster that happens every morning in the kitchen. All right, this lighting is a little bit rough. I have been running around running errands all day, so I'm basically just eating things that I picked up at the grocery store for breakfast. I grabbed these snack size perfect bars. These are 5 points. These are 130 calories, so there are quite a few calories in this tiny little bar, but I find these to be really filling. And they've got really good ingredients. So I've had those even outside of doing Weight Watchers. I typically get the perfect bars. And then I'm also going to have a banana. This is 0 points. So this will be my 5-point breakfast. And I'm still working on finishing my coffee from this morning. I am back from running all of my errands this morning, tidied up the kitchen a little, and I'm actually going to get started on dinner now. It is 11 a.m. and we have practice tonight. On nights that the kids have activities, I really try to make sure that dinner is ready to go when they get home from school so that we can eat right at 5 o'clock and then immediately leave the house to run around to all their practices for the remainder of the evening. Today, I am going to be making a pot roast in the Instant Pot. I saw Jennifer L. Scott on the Daily Connoisseur make a pot roast, and it just really had me craving pot roast. So I think that'll be a simple, I'm gonna use the slow cooker setting on my Instant Pot, and beef is a little bit higher in points, but the rest of the roast is just filled with veggies, which are going to be 0 points. Let me turn you around and I will show you what I'm going to be putting into the pot roast. I found this chuck tender roast at Target. I think that this is about 1 point per ounce. At least that's how I'm going to track it. I'm using onion, garlic, going to cube up some red potatoes. I'm going to season it with a Lipton onion soup mix, some Worcestershire sauce, and 1 cup of chicken broth. Ideally, I would use beef broth, but I don't have any, so we're just gonna use chicken broth. Celery, carrots, and then for seasonings, I'm just going to do salt, pepper, granulated garlic, and minced onion. I basically sprinkle this on anything that I cook. So the only thing that is going to be points is the meat. I'll count 1 point for the onion soup mix. I'm not sure if broth is worth points or not, so I'll have to scan that and figure out how many points is in the broth. But tonight, I'm thinking that I will have a 5-point dinner. I'll go ahead and show you later today what it looks like when it's all plated up. I always put the pot roast on the bottom. I did scan the chicken broth. 1 cup is 1 point. So between the chicken broth and the onion soup seasoning, I'm only going to count that as 1 point, and then I'll just measure out however many ounces of meat I end up eating. I put the broth on the bottom, then the meat, then put all of the seasoning on the top of the meat. I don't bother searing it first. I don't find that it makes a huge difference in the overall outcome of the dish. Now I am just going to take all of the vegetables and arrange them on the top. So you can see the meat is tucked down there in the bottom with all the seasonings on it. I sliced up 7 small red potatoes, 3 stalks of celery, a handful of baby carrots, 1 small onion, and then I just smashed 5 garlic cloves. I am going to top the veggies with a little bit of Worcestershire sauce. I'm just going to sprinkle this. I'm not measuring it. Probably about 1/4 cup on the top of the veggies. And then I will put the lid on and put this on high on the slow cooker setting for 4 hours. It is 12:35. I'm getting ready to make lunch. I am going to utilize a ton of leftovers in the refrigerator and make some taco bowls. I have a little bit of shrimp left. This just has some paprika, onion powder, garlic powder, and chili powder on it. We have 4 of these left, so I'll probably just heat all of them up. Some pinto beans. I try to keep things like this already pre-prepped in the refrigerator for easy lunches throughout the week. So I've got beans that are already prepped and then some brown rice that's already been cooked. All of this is 0 points on the purple plan. I am going to put a little bit of salsa, which is also 0 points. And then I will top it with 1 point worth of this organic sharp white cheddar cheese. I would rather do avocado, but I don't have any. So I'm just going to put a little bit of cheese on the top. I decided to just stick everything into a fry pan to heat it up. We do not have a microwave at our house. So I'm going to stick all this in the fry pan, heat it up, and then I will probably split this with my toddler. I don't know. I know he'll eat rice. Sometimes he'll eat shrimp, and he probably will pick out the beans. But we're going to give it a whirl and offer him some of this for lunch as well. Here's what it looks like all assembled. I ended up doing 2 points worth of cheese, and then everything else is 0 points. It is 2:30 in the afternoon, and this is going to be my snack for the day. I have a massive sweet tooth and am also completely dragging. I made myself an iced coffee I just put some ice cubes in a mason jar, pulled over some leftover black coffee from this morning, and then put in about a tablespoon of the Starbucks. It's an almond milk, oat milk, pumpkin spice coffee creamer, just so that it lightens up the color. I still like to be able to taste the coffee. I just add a little bit of that pumpkin spice creamer. I don't count my coffee in the morning, but if I have coffee in the afternoon, I do count that as points. This coffee is 1 point, and then this is one of the Tate's chocolate cookies. These are 4 points each, and they are really crisp. I am going to have my coffee, eat my cookie, read a book, and then get ready to get the older kids from school. I do think that it's important to point out that this is kind of the benefit of doing something like Weight Watchers. You don't need to be so militant about dieting. You can have a cookie and a nice coffee in the afternoon, just allocate the points for it, and it's not a big deal. I know that I'm not going to go my entire life without eating a cookie, so that's part of my journey, and I'm fully aware that I will not be one of those people that loses 50 pounds in 6 months. My journey will probably be significantly slower, but my thought is that if you are less militant about it, it's probably going to be more sustainable. After 4 hours, I just tucked down any of the vegetables that were still poking out, flipped the pot rest over, and then I am going to put the lid back on. Once I flipped it over, I went ahead and reset the Instant Pot for another hour and a half, keeping it on high pressure. I actually just checked my app, and the coffee creamer is actually 2 points for 1 tablespoon. So I corrected that. It's actually a 6-point snack. This coffee creamer was actually quite good. I do not like putting dairy inside of my coffee. I prefer finding dairy alternatives. So I love that they came out with this pumpkin spice, but it's a combination of almond milk and oat milk. It was very good. I am going to shred the pork roast. I already looked at it and I can tell that it's not going to shred as well as I would like to. Ideally, I would have put this in more like 8 or 9 a.m. instead of 11 and allowed it to cook a little bit longer so that the meat was a little bit more tender, but I still think that the flavor is going to be really good and that my kids are going to really like at least the meat. I will make them eat some of the veggies, but I do think that the kids are really going to like the roast. Here is my 5-point dinner. I just measured out 4 ounces of the pot roast, counted 1 point for the seasoning, and then all of the vegetables are 0 points. It is 5:15 p.m. We just finished dinner. That roast was really good. As I suspected, the meat could have been a little bit more tender if it had had a little bit more time. I do think that it probably would have been better, but it was still really good, and I'll consider it a success for my first pot roast of the season. In total today, I ended up using 18 smart points, which was the 16 that I get and then my 2 fit points from doing yoga this morning. If you are new to my channel and haven't done so already, you can subscribe by clicking on my face here. I will include an entire playlist full of Weight Watchers videos for you here, as well as a video that YouTube thinks that you would enjoy down here. I hope you guys are all doing well, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!